So recently I managed to find some really awesome books in the 100K collection that I want to show you in this video. And I know what you're probably thinking. Is he ever going to get to the end of finding books in the collection? And I honestly don't know. I will tell you that I have gone through this collection in its entirety. But there are some bins that I don't go through book by book by book. There are some that I did, of course, for the video series that I did here on the channel, Digging in My Shorts, where I literally went book by book. There are others that I've kind of glanced in and not necessarily gone through because when I did a spot check of it, there wasn't really anything good in that bin, and so I moved on to the next bin. And over time, I'm going back to a lot of those bins that I did not spend a lot of time on. And that is where I'm actually finding some of these books that I'll be showing you in today's video. Hopefully I have piqued your curiosity, and hopefully you'll stick around to see what it is that I found. Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my videos. As I mentioned in that intro, I am going to show you guys some books that I found in the collection, and we are going to start off with a little bit of a bang, a book that is a hot book and has been hot off and on for like the last 18 to 24 months. And it is this one right here, X-Men issue number 4, the first appearance of Omega Red. And I will tell you that I do believe that I found probably 14 copies of this book already in the collection, and I found them spread throughout the collection, mostly in X-Men labeled boxes, but occasionally, like these, I find them in a bin that has absolutely nothing to do with mutants. And again, that's kind of why I found these just recently. So 2 more copies that will be added to the stack, and maybe those, along with some of the others, will actually be going off to CGC to be graded at some point in time in the future. Who knows? Who knows what the future holds? I actually already have a 9.8 of that from CBCS that I bought probably a year ago that's in the collection. And so again, maybe we'll send off some of those to be graded, and fingers crossed they come back at a high grade. This next one is one that I thought that I may have in the collection. I found a lot of books from Top Cow, but I had not found this one. But again, I remained hopeful that I was going to locate it. And sure enough, I actually found it in an indie box in the collection. And this again is from Top Cow Comics. This is issue number 1 of The Darkness. And this is actually the first appearance of Jackie as the Darkness. I think there were some previews that he appeared in before. I think Jackie appeared before, but this is where Jackie actually appears as the Darkness in issue number 1. And this one is very timely because I do believe that the creator is actually, Mark Silvestri is actually doing a Kickstarter. At least that's what I think I read, that he's doing a Kickstarter to actually bring the Darkness back. And so it was pretty cool to have found his first appearance in that issue. So definitely a cool thing. I have not read it. Maybe I will. But I just thought that was a cool book to have found. This next one, again, is a cool book. I want to say that I already have 1 or 2 copies of this in the collection. This is New X-Men issue number 128. And this is the first appearance of Phantom X, and who is part of the Weapons X Weapons Plus program. I actually did a video about that probably a year and a half ago. So that's why I actually had a copy of it because of that video. But I was able to find another copy of this in the collection. Really, really cool book. I think this is also the first appearance of the X Corporation team. And I cannot remember who all is on the team, but again, just a really cool book to have found. I dig the whole Weapons X Weapons Plus program. If you haven't seen that video, check that out. If you haven't read those books, I definitely encourage you to check it out. I'm a huge Wolverine fan, definitely a huge fan of the Weapons X the Marvel Presents Weapons X story art by Barry Windsor Smith. Just a really fantastic story. One of my favorite story arcs of all time. Next up, this is a book that will probably resonate with many of you that watch and read the blog post and or the videos that feature Doug. This is Sandman issue number 2. Again, found this book in a random non-Sandman bin, and I found it in just a cool book. I think there is a couple of first appearances and also a second appearance in this book right here. Again, Sandman issue number 2. Next up is, speaking of Wolverine, this is an homage to, I believe it's Hulk 340. This is Wolverine issue number 155. I just dig this cover. I dig this cover. I want to say I already have a couple of copies of this in the collection, but sure enough was able to find 2 more. I do not have a graded copy of this book, and I think at least one of these might be in the 9.6 range. So we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to send that off. Who knows? But that also is a Rob Liefeld cover. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned that. This is a book. I found 1 copy of this in the collection already. I loved this movie back in the day. I absolutely love some Harrison Ford. Huge fan of Harrison Ford. This is the official comic adaptation of the hit film Raiders of the Lost Ark issue number 1. And like I said, I already have a copy of this. I found this in not this one, the previous one, in a Raiders of the Lost Ark bin, which made perfect sense. This one, not so much. Found this one in just a random bin as I was looking for something else, stumbled across this. So again, another cool copy. That other one is a high grade, and so is that one. So maybe those will go off to be graded. A couple of cool books here, and I'm actually thankful to have found this next set because I have all parts of this limited series, but the copies of issue number 3 that I have already are a little beat. So I was pleased to have found 2 more copies of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures issue number 3. So definitely a cool thing to have found those. And the last book that I'll show you technically is 4 books, same book, but 4 copies of it. This is Moon Knight issue number 3. And this black cover is just hard. It is a hard cover. What's interesting is that these are actually in pretty good shape. 2 of them have, technically 3 of them have a little bit of a printer defect, kind of, sort of, that may hurt the grade. We'll see what happens with this. But Moon Knight issue number 3, this is the first appearance of the Midnight Man, who is rumored to be coming to the Disney Plus streaming show that is going to be coming out featuring Moon Knight. So we got our first look at Moon Knight a couple of weeks ago. I think there was like some kind of leak, and people feel a certain way about that costume. There are some people that love it, and there are others that do not care for it at all. I am going to reserve judgment and wait to see what the show brings. Fingers crossed that it is a good show. A lot of people love some Moon Knight. I've been trying to read some Moon Knight to try to get myself a little bit more familiar with the character. The older stuff like that, I struggle with just a little bit. The new Moon Knight series that is out, I think it's on issue number 2, has been a little bit easier. It's been a little bit easier for me to read it and to be able to get on board. I have not read issue number 2 yet, but I'm looking forward to actually checking it out. So with that, I am going to wrap this video up. Again, a couple of cool books here that I was able to find in the collection that I wanted to share with you guys. Now I need to possibly rebag and board some of these and then insert them into various bins here in the personal collection. But I want to thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I definitely want to encourage you to give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment behind so we can mix it up down in the comment section. And if you need to reach out to me, feel free to do so on Instagram at Regie Collects. Take care. Oh, and before I let you go, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, I want to personally invite you to do so right now. All you have to do is to tap that button, turn on notifications. That way you don't miss out on any of the content that gets released from the channel. Take care.